Next thing that's going to be addressed, and something that's always annoyed me, is the horrible way that this panel here, which is actually part of the inner guard, leaves a great big gap here. Now the gap's a little bit exaggerated, especially here. That's normally closed up because I've actually dropped the angle of the bonnet and guard 1.5 degrees just to give it a little bit more slope. I was going to rebuild this anyway. As you can see, it's in terrible condition. Now I also want to get rid of this gap here. Now if I put a straight edge along the where it sits, like so. Not sure I can open this one-handed. There we go. You can see how much gap there is. It's what I assume is that with the stock hinges is that the bottom corner dips down as it opens up, and so therefore has to clear that. I don't have that need anymore because I've got top mounted hinges. So I want to rebuild that whole back corner and make it stronger as well, because eventually this inner guard will have to cut out to go around the suspension coils at the top and shock mounts. So that's part of the next project that I'll update in a second. Okay, more progress. We've got some more work done on the front guards or fenders in the US. Now, a couple of the main changes. One is that the outside of the guard was actually 1 inch out of plumb compared to the centre line of the bonnet. So you've got the centre line of the bonnet, the guards are actually tapered outwards an extra inch. So I took the opportunity when I was redesigning these to leave this point here where it was, but take the inside edge 1 inch across. This also meant that this has been made 1 inch narrower as well, and I've also brought it down to the level of the grille, which is 2 inches deeper than, or taller than stock. So that gives me full coverage of the radiator that I'm using for this, which is the same as the V8 5.7 Hemi. The other side has also been done, so they're now at least parallel with the centre line. Now the other big bugbear I had was that this piece here was not in line. It went in 10mm or 3/8 of an inch out of line with the bonnet, and as you can see now it is perfectly in line. Another thing I've been working on is setting the gaps. So they're just been building up some weld on the edges to close these gaps up. It just needed between 1 and 2 millimeters in places, so that's all completed. Also this front edge had to be brought forward because I lowered the angle of the bonnet about 2 degrees downwards. I just thought the extra rake looked better that way, so that's where you can see. I've left this side out, I haven't done this side completed yet. This is the new reinforcing for inside the guard itself. So this piece here is right up the front, and this goes all the way through, and then this has also got more of this box section to go through here, and then we've got 3mm plate with 1.1mm steel body that I put in its place. So I'll turn it over, gives you a bit of an idea. So this piece here sits basically in there, but obviously under the guard, not in it. So that's what actually straightened that whole corner out there. So you can see I've completely cut out the inner guard at the moment. I just drilled out the spot welds, and so I could finish that off. Now the reason I've done that is mainly for the alignment, but also so I can have the added strength, as you can see it's sitting in place there, because when I put the inner guard back in again, they'll attach along the top flange like I did before, because the inside will still have a large piece cut out of it to clear the front upper strut tower, or technically really a coilover suspension from the V8 donor. So all that has to be strengthened up, otherwise the guards are going to crack in no time flat, which they're prone to do anyway. So you can see a bit of the change in the alignment on the inside there. As you can see, it's closer near the top on that reinforcement than it is down the bottom. So that is extremely sturdy now. Also what I did is that flange on the top actually used to point downwards, and it was a big water trap, so they all rust out there. So when I was taking the inch out of it in the front half, I actually bent it all up, so it's now upwards and will attach to the inner guard inner flange. So here's the other side before that reinforcement's been added in. So you can see it's all braced, everything's within 1 millimetre of sitting exactly square and level. And so next job will be to finish off the other guard, but I'll leave the inner guards most likely until it's mounted on the chassis, so I can make very precise cuts for the suspension rather than just a big horrible gaping hole, which will be weak and throw mud and slush everywhere. So that's why that'll be delayed until everything's mounted. So that's the update so far. Thought I'd fill you in before I finish everything off.